Hello, welcome. Very nice to have you here. Very nice to be here. So, we're going to play here a little bit differently than we kind of maybe normally do. But this session, we kind of described it. We set it out in motion, called it Do You Know Where You Are? Actually, see if you can answer that question. Do you know where you are? I mean, I get it. I'm sitting in my chair in my living room, get that part. But do you know where you are in relationship to the rest of you? And so we'll play at that a little bit here to try to begin to answer that question. So, where are you emotionally in your life? You have it together? Well, whatever together means. There is no together, but are you satisfied, comfortable? You live your life exactly like you want to live your life emotionally. Or how about mentally? Do you manage your thoughts? Do you think a thought? Do you generate a direction? Do you get an answer? Do you create what you just thought? You see, that's a process, that's a construct. You know that if you put all the building blocks together in a certain way and you understand what each of the building blocks are, and your objective is to get to there, pretty much you often get to there. Sometimes it's like, well, wait, that's not quite where I wanted to be. And you take a step back and you look and you go, oh, I put the red block in, not the blue block. I made good adjustment and you arrive. But how about spiritually? You know where you are spiritually. You have a concept of spiritually, you know, not being either insulting or funny. We, especially if you're here in this call, there's something about each one of us that says there's more. There's something bigger, something that holds uh, a lot of well-being. Religions call that heaven. The mental body, emotional body, says that there's also that other side of the duality, that hell side. And then quite often, mentally and emotionally, we get caught up in the duality. We also quite often get caught up in losing track of where we are. Does that make any sense? Where am I? So in the Mastering Alchemy work that we've been doing, see, Mastering Alchemy is a journey. It's not an answer. It's just kind of a lot of step into this. What do you notice? How do I adjust? How do I move forward? There are answers in all of that. But one of the fundamental pieces is if you can't answer the question, where am I at any moment in relationship to what I want, then kind of by definition, you're lost or you're at least minimally uncertain, but don't have a clear focus as to how do I get from here to there. So where am I? What do I want? And then how do I get from where I am to what I want? Really sounds pretty simple. Actually, that's the challenge. It's simple, but simple is not always easy. So, for example, if a spiritual person, oh, I want to go to heaven, I want to see God, creator, whatever you identify that as. But what would happen if all of a sudden you got an invitation in the spiritual mail and it said, the creator is going to show up at your dinner table in 5 minutes to have lunch? What would you do? How are you dressed? Kind of this question, how are you dressed, is not what are you wearing physically, but it's really what are you wearing mentally, emotionally, spiritually? Are you present? Are you quiet? Are you focused? Are you being aware? See, if the objective was to begin to know where I am in relationship to what I want, and then how do I get from here to there, that issue of how am I dressed begins to be a viable kind of conversation with myself. Am I uncertain? Am I worth anything? Do I like myself? Am I okay? Or do I give a lot of seniority to I'm not okay, they don't like me, I don't fit in? See, the creator really doesn't care about all that part. What the creator gave you, created in your image, his image, her image, its image, is kind of alignments that are in the flow, certain, capable. There's a seniority. This is who I am. There's a sense of graciousness, happy, laughter, smile, beauty. See, that's what the creator is. That's what the creator created you as. But where am I in relationship to? So take another breath. We're just kind of setting this up. We're going to be very simple. So what this level 1 piece of work is, it's called fundamental tools, because to a great extent, it allows you to begin to ask the question, where am I? And so if I'm grounded, if I'm in the center of my head, if I have a sense of my space, that's a bigger discussion, but my space, that space that goes from the palm of your hand when you stick your arm straight out in front of you to the heart, that aura, that energetic, organic field of light, my space, we'll call that. And if I have the capacity to begin to recognize that without definition or structure, rose, the octahedron, that space gets kind of contaminated with a whole lot of other people's confusions, thoughts. Where am I? What you should be doing, because you make me nervous, so I need to control you. So you do what I say, so I'm not nervous. It's kind of silly, but that's, I think that's called mom, dad, teacher, minister. But who am I? Where am I? And at any given moment, the question is, where am I? And the answer really is, I'm right here. But if the I'm right here is somewhere where you didn't really intend to be, that gets kind of confusing. Uncertain, distracted, nervous, anxiety. I don't know what to do. So these fundamental tools, they're called fundamental tools because they're fundamental tools. If I was really interested in answering those questions, and I was interested in beginning to know myself, and for the purpose of just this discussion, myself is what the creator created. Myself is that smile, that sense of beauty, graciousness, certain, kind. Smile. Let's just pause. Would that be a place that you would like to be? So in part, if the answer was yes, add your own adjectives and adverbs and nouns and verbs to it yourself. What is it that you want? I want to be happy. I want to be that smile. I want to feel beauty. I want to like myself. Let's just make an assumption that's the target for the moment. How do I get there? Well, where am I in relationship to there? Well, I give up my seniority. I don't think they like me. I don't fit in. I'm not doing it right, I was told. So when you start to get to look at some of that and you can be grounded, center of your head, my side of the rose, take a breath, and I begin to identify my space. Who am I? Something you begin to recognize is that an awful lot of how I define myself is not on my terms. My terms being gracious, kind, happy, I like me, smile. So if I'm not there and that's what I want, then what is this? I'm not okay. And if you step back, one of the things you begin to find is that in life, there are people all around you that have loved you from their condition. This is what I want you to be. This is how I want you to act. This is what we do. We don't go there. We do go here. We eat this food. We don't eat that food. We hang out with these people. We don't hang out with those people. This is right. This is wrong. This is good. This is bad. You ever looked in the eyes of a little 6-month-old? They don't have all that stuff. They haven't succumbed to that. All the things that you need to do to grow up and be a good citizen. That 6-month-old doesn't have that. That 6-month-old is being fascinated by its new environment, very much where it came from. But then it's like, no, don't. This is what you do, begins to take over. And at a year, those brilliant eyes that you can look into forever, it's changed. It's not so much there anymore. So what is that? This is what you should do. I'm creating you in my image. Well, they don't really say that, but the mom, dad, teacher, minister, you, to your kids, it comes with the territory. It's not personal, it just comes. But what we do is we begin to lose that sense of myself. And then in that, one of the things that happens is you receive lots of gifts, well-intentioned gifts. Here, let me dress you the way I think you will look good. This is what we do. Oh, and then sometimes because you don't do what I say, what's wrong with you? Sit down and don't speak, just sit there until I tell you to say something. Interesting one. And so what we do is we get all these gifts. Here's this wonderful gift. Here, you're not okay. And what we do is it kind of knocks us out of our space a little bit. And then we receive the gift. Here, you're not okay. Sit down, shut up. And that energy that comes along with it doesn't feel very good. Hits the body pretty hard, kind of knocks you out of that beautiful space, 6-month-old. And they walk away and then you start to come back. But what happens is they didn't leave. They're still there. And you can't recover that space because they're the big ones. Am I making any sense? And so now what we're doing here is we're talking about the mechanics where I am. How did I get here? Is this where I want to be? And how do I be the smile? So take a breath because I'm lighting up some of your pictures here. So that gift, here you are, you're not okay. And then we accept it. And then for the rest of our life, we ask the wrong question. What did I do wrong? What's wrong with me? Why? Question. And the whole time, the energy that we're trying to solve is unsolvable because it's not your energy, not even your idea to be not okay. But here we are. Here we are. See, here's where we are. Emotionally, mentally. Spiritually, I don't have time for that because I'm too busy being emotional and mental. And my physical world is another interesting concept. What I put my attention on, because the universe says, I adore you and I will give you, you, the creator being, I will give to you exactly what you put your attention on. But the universe doesn't speak in words, it speaks in vibrations. And so here's where the piece, this is kind of the level 2 stuff, real simple, but level 2 is what happens is this doesn't even make sense in the first speaking of it. Thoughts are electrical, emotions are magnetic. So what? The first hearing of that is kind of the response. But when looked into, you begin to realize it's everything. It's about everything. Every thought I think, every feeling, emotion I have, every creation I make is fundamentally about how I vibrate my thought and how I draw an emotion to my thought. I'm not okay. You like that thought? What happens when you think the thought? My energy drops because I have learned unconsciously and anchored it. When I say I'm not okay, I feel this way. When I say I'm guilty, I feel this way. When it's my fault, I feel this way. All unconscious constructs of creating yourself. Where am I? I'm unconscious. I'm unaware. I am surviving. I am dealing with what they told me I needed to do to be a good son, daughter, student, etc. Take a breath. So how do I get at that? There's two ways. What I'm focusing on, what I'm telling you right here, is how do I get rid of all of that? That's level 2 work of mastering alchemy. And I'm going to say this here. This is the last time we're going to do a live session for level 1. This is the last kind of free lecture or level 1 lecture we're going to give. If you, and many of you, have been spending a long time in level 1, it's simply very valuable to learn a set of tools, we'll talk about it more in a second, that give me a foundation, that allow me to have a focus, that allows me to discern, real big word, where I am and what I want. The tools begin to allow me to know myself, move around, begin to discern, is this my truth or is this somebody else's gift? So in level 2, all of that is about how do I simply begin to recognize this thought and this emotion, this vibration and this magnetics. See, because, and you know this really well, it's like, I'm really angry. Oh, how's that feel? It's a thought that has a very rigid emotion, very sticky. It doesn't go away real easily. I'm really angry. You kind of lock it in place. It's called an electromagnetic field. And in the third dimension, the game we all play in, that's very magnetic and very sticky. And it doesn't go away easily. See, you can't heal from the place that's electromagnetically locked in place. You got to kind of step out of the game. So let's come back to fundamental tools. So when I'm grounded, I can be in the center of my head. We'll play this in just a minute. I can take a breath and be on my side of the rose. I can recognize this octahedron that I've created around me, the antenna that draws in a whole lot of additional information on my terms, assisting me to define me on my terms, recognizing me. Beginning to be in that higher mind, it gets even quieter. So if my objective was to be able to take a breath and be present, like right here, not in the past, not worrying about the future, but right here, now, present. Quiet, not a lot of noise, not a lot of emotion, and can be aware. Just simply, I'm recognizing I am here, but no good or bad attached to it. Because if you can't identify where you are, it's awfully hard to get to where you want to be. Now, take another breath. Now, let's decide where I want to be right here. Just we're playing a game. I'm going to identify a set of alignments, a feeling and a thought, quiet, present, and aware. Now, for here, that's where I would like to create. So let's see if we can arrive there, in a manner of speaking. So would you sit back and take a breath, and then just notice with that direction, did you just shift yourself? Did you go from a listening mode into something else? Did the body move? Did your mind move? The answer is probably yes. But would you just take a breath and would you have your eyes open? Now kind of notice what's happening, because this is familiar in a way, because people say, all right, let's go into meditation, and we have a sense of that. And so we move into an alignment that we call meditation. Let's just interrupt that a little bit. Would you have your eyes open? And would you just take a couple of breaths and would you be right here? Now, with the next breath, would you be aware of being in the center of your head? That's right behind your eyes, looking through your eyes at whatever is over there, wall, door, window. It's over there. I'm here. I'm in the center of my head. Now, just another breath. Take your time. We're not in a hurry. I'm behind my eyes, and I'm looking at the door, window, wall over there. Now, would you just notice, without looking for good or bad, would you just notice where I am? Now, I know what we just said, but behind the eyes. But notice a lot of people don't know where that is for a good reason. We'll get to it in a minute. And I'm outside of my space, or I'm over there by the wall. But if you're not behind your eyes, would you take another breath? And would you just be in the center of your head? Now, why would it be challenging to be in the center of your head? Because the mom, dad, teacher, minister, etc., best friend, etc., basically said, I have a better idea. Here, this is what you should do. And that should gets placed right in the center of your head, or in the crown chakra, or right in the heart, maybe in your knee. Doesn't matter. That should has a lot of energy attached to it that winds up in your space, because I don't know about my rose. But now take another breath. And this time you have this simple tool. Would you be in the center of your head and ask the question, who's in the center of my head with me? First thought that comes up, oh, my husband, my wife, my kid. Yes, it's them. no problem. And you have that little tool of creating a mental image picture of a rose. Very valuable tool. Would you create that rose in your mind? And would you just simply give the directions of the rose, collect that person up from the center of my head? Don't even have to think about it. It's magnetic. That's one of the great things about this rose. Very magnetic. Takes that person out of the center of your head. Explode the rose. Give them back what's theirs. Now, what's theirs is the love, the joy, the energy that's theirs. The you're bad, you're not okay. That's gone. That doesn't go back to them. That just evaporates. That was your creation to a great extent. How you heard what they said and then you assembled it into I'm not okay. That's a big piece of valuable information. I assembled what I heard and decided that the energy I'm feeling, their thought and their emotion, is what this energy means. Now, just another breath. And then again, right in the center of your head, right behind the eyes. Another breath. And then with the next breath, would you notice, don't do anything, but would you notice if you are grounded? Grounded is sitting in the chair. I feel the weight of my body on the chair. And that electrical line, thoughts are electrical, this grounding cord, electrical, runs to the center of the earth, not far away. And see, the value of grounding is all those electrical thoughts that aren't yours, that you're engaged in all day long, whether it's television, radio, unseen electrical thoughts, transmissions, simply ground off the body. But when I'm not grounded, it's very hard to be present. I'm so distracted by the noise. Why are they doing this? Why are they doing that? How they said this. Another breath. It's grounded. Would you relax into the chair? Feel your feet on the ground. And would you recognize that I can let go of all those extraneous thoughts just by being grounded? How does it feel? I kind of like this. One more breath and very clear, be aware of the breath and relax a little bit more into the chair. Notice if the muscles in the body are tight, just relax the muscles. Just let go. And then would you be aware of the rose that you've created at the edge of the aura? It's a point of delineation. From that point, rose, to my heart is me. And everything on the other side of the rose is Shakespeare's theater acting out. Now, that's not meant to be a cute line, Shakespeare's theater, because do you like what you see going on in the world today? A lot of noise, a lot of disorganization, a lot of chaotic erratic activity. Have you noticed that when you give attention to that noise, when you put your finger in that light socket, you kind of lose your space? Well, I'm doing the right thing. No, we're not talking right or wrong. See, that's duality. The moment you go to right or wrong, you're playing the game. Can you find neutral? To a great extent, my side of the rose begins to eliminate a lot of the noise. It actually creates opportunity to kind of see, in many cases, what's going on rather than being sucked into. Another breath. Now, once I've kind of grounded center of my head on my side of the rose, am I home free? No, because all of the years up to this moment, I have been accumulating an awful lot of good, bad, right, wrong, should, shouldn't, this is what's wrong with you. And that's all sitting inside that energetic field. In a way, that's good news because I know where to look. I know where I am. I know where I want to be. I can see the distractions and I can remove them. Removing this noise is simple. It's not complicated. It just has to be recognized. I have a tool. I have this broom and I'm just going to sweep the floor. Without the broom, the floor stays messy. Level 2. I'm pointing you to level 2 because that's where the tools to get rid of the noise is. Another breath. Now we just check in. Grounded. Center of my head. My side of the rose. And then would you recognize I'm here? I'm right here. And I'm being present. Not in the past. Not in the future. Would you be right here? And you may have closed your eyes. Perfect. But would you notice yourself right here? And would you hold on to it? And would you just take another breath and let your eyes open? We're not stopping. We're just simply shifting slightly. And notice as you open your eyes, you don't really see anything. It's like you're being aware of the body being grounded in the center of your head. The room's there, but it's not in focus. Relaxed. Let's add another word. Would you be comfortable? Something will shift as you shift the attention of the construction of the thought and the emotion. Comfortable, close to relaxed. Now, let's do another word. Validate. Would you validate yourself? Okay, I'm being successful. But don't measure success, just be successful. I'm grounded, center of my head, my side of the rose. And I'm quiet. I'm present. Here I am. And I'm aware of myself being present and quiet. Nothing to do, nothing to fix. Comfortable. Yeah. Eyes open, comfortable, relaxed. Now, from the center of your head, would you just see the room? Don't go to the room. Be in the center of your head. Would you just look around the room and notice the walls are over there? Picture over there. I'm right here. Quiet. Now, would you have a thought and a feeling? Would you validate yourself? I'm successful. Would you just simply, without thinking, would you notice what successful feels like? Find the feeling, not tied to any event. I'm successful. My feet are on the ground. My butt's still in the chair. I'm successful. I'm in the center of my head looking around. I'm successful. Now, as soon as you begin to move to words that are in the heart, there's a smile that will start to happen. And I like me. You know, pleased with myself. Now it's advanced work, advanced. So don't go rushing there. Takes a lot sometimes. We'll do it another day. Pleased with myself. Successful. Now just kind of notice, without any thought other than the feeling of being relaxed, comfortable, successful, present, quiet, aware. The creator has showed up for lunch. You see, part of the challenge people have is they spend so much time in the noise without tools, without basically the sense of self-identity. This is me. This is my space. This is my center of the head. I am grounded. That alignment allows me to be quieter, to be more present, and be more aware. See, now you begin to ask the question, where am I? That allows you to begin to answer the question, what do I want? And let's just presuppose the answer to the question is, I want to be happy. I want to be capable. I want to enjoy myself. I want to have beauty surrounding me. I want to laugh. I want to be in well-being. I want to simply be comfortable and enjoy myself. Let's assume that was the direction. See, how do those thoughts feel? Beauty and smile, capable, laughing, well-being, enjoying others. See, that's aligning the thoughts and the feelings and the seniority of you in the heart. Now, is it hard to be here? The answer is no, but the answer is yes. Because the yes is, if I'm not grounded in the center of my head, defining my space, I'm overwhelmed with Shakespeare's theater. I'm still living in the past when my mom, dad, teacher, minister said, "What's wrong with you?" And you know what was wrong with you? Nothing. You were experimenting. You were trying it out. You were simply going, well, what if I do this? What if I put my peas on top of my mashed potatoes? Stop playing with your food. What's wrong with you? An innocent statement that sets a life path in motion. And it wasn't even yours. Never was yours. But right here, well-being, laughter, joy, smiling, pleased with myself. That's who you are. And I'm going to speculate that's what you want. Another breath. And let's just add one last feeling. That space. That's what I want. Would you simply find certain around the statement? That's what I want. Happy, laughing, smiling, well-being, making funny comments. Everybody laughs. Somebody says, "You look good today. Did you shave your mustache?" What? 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 And everybody laughs. Female or the male. Another breath. I kind of just notice relaxed. And see, one of the fundamental kind of truths for me that I've found in my space is when I can hold my attention on who I am, everything unlike who I am loses that electromagnetic field to some extent and begins to fall away. Now, not all of it, because I've given a lot of attention to I'm not okay, I don't deserve in my life. But in this moment, much of it starts to fall away. And in the next moment, it continues to fall away. And in the next moment, you don't remember that it was ever there because you stopped giving attention to what I am not. Yeah, just another breath. And would you find pleased with yourself? I like me. A smile, a sense of beauty. I'm comfortable, relaxed. Would you just find one of those? And would you be one of those? Just be one of those vibrations. Like me. And if your eyes are open or closed, open them slowly. Just take a moment. I like me, if that's your choice. Comfortable, relaxed, pleased with myself. And as you kind of notice that feeling, there's an underlying feeling that you just might notice. There's a strength. It's like it just got stronger. It got aligned. It got more defined. Me, I got more defined. Kind of breathe your eyes open, if they're closed. And would you find a smile? pleased with myself. A smile. I like me. A smile. I'm okay. A smile. Could you wiggle your toes? Take another breath. Pleased with yourself.
Thanks for spending time with us today. You'll find more resources to enjoy and information about our program courses by visiting masteringalchemy.com.